How's it going, YouTube? I'm going to cut right to the chase right here because we have a lot to go over. So I'm going to talk about why LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. Now, I have a blog post about this actually. If you want to read it, I'm assuming by some of the comments that I see that a lot of you probably don't know how to read. But I'm going to put a link down there so you can click on it. And it's basically going to cover what I'm going to say now, except, I'm a better writer than I am talker. But bear with me. Now, the reason I'm making this video is actually because Scottie Pippen suggested that LeBron James is currently better than Michael Jordan, and he received, a lot of, trash talk for this. Like, everyone's like, are you crazy and stuff like that? But I decided to come out and, back Scottie. Scottie's an excellent player, and he obviously has a lot more credibility than a lot of the people on ESPN. But anyway, here are the reasons why I personally believe that LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. So bear with me. Alright. Now, the number one thing people always come up with is the number of rings that people have. I don't know if you guys saw that movie, Bad Teacher. There was a scene about it where the guy's like 6 rings or whatever. But how important are rings really when assessing how good a basketball player is, like in terms of individual talents? Like, to be honest with you, basketball's a team sport. All rings really show is how good the team is. Like, let me go over I have a clipboard right here with all my information. But the people with the most rings, number 1 is Bill Russell with 11 rings. Okay, he's a legit player. Like, I can't take anything away from Bill Russell. Sam Jones has 10. Like, he was on the Celtics. He was a great player, but I mean, like, Sam Jones, like, you put him as the second best player with 10 rings. Like, come on, like, how legit is that? You know what I mean? Like, then the rest of the other players are actually Celtics too. Like, there's a bunch of them with like 9 rings and stuff like that. But the next non-Celtic is number 7 is Robert Horry. Not number 7, but with 7 rings. Robert Horry has 7 rings. If you fucking put Robert Horry in your top, like, 100 best players all time, you're crazy, you know what I mean? So, like, what do rings say? Then next you have Michael Jordan with 6. Okay, that's legit, obviously, it's Jordan. Derek Fisher has 5 rings. Is Derek Fisher in anybody's top 52? Like, all that means is you're on a great team. Like, Scottie Pippen has 6 rings, too. How come nobody gives him credit? You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, LeBron doesn't have any rings right now. Does that mean, he's an awful player? No, that just means his team hasn't been like one of the best teams of all time, or it hasn't been, like producing. That you can blame that on the team, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I mean, that argument just kind of pisses me off because rings are all about teams, you know what I mean? Like, it's one player has never in history won it by himself without another superstar. Let me just get that out there. Maybe the Pistons, when they won with Billups, but that team was just defensive oriented. But another fact I have, like another thing that I want to talk about is LeBron is right now, he's only 26 years old. Jordan was 28 when he won his first ring. So all this talk about him not being up to Jordan's level, like ever, he still has 2 years to match Jordan, like his output, his original like first ring. So I mean, like he's on the Heat now. Granted, now he's on the quote unquote super team where he promised all those rings. But, like, I mean, he still has plenty of time. People don't realize just how young he is. You know what I mean? He's 26 years old. Like, Jordan struggled in the league for a good, couple of years. Not even, I'd say like a decade or so before he actually finally won his first ring. So, like, give the guy a break. What's next? Oh, in terms of, like, physical dominance, I have some stats to talk about. Like, I guess this is the only thing you could talk about when you're discussing, like, individual performances. This is for the career-wise. Like, I believe it's season, so it doesn't include playoffs. But, career stats for Jordan. He's averaged 30.1 points per game, 6.2 rebounds per game, 5.3 assists per game, 0.8 blocks, and 2.3 steals. You got that so far? LeBron has 27.7 points, 7.1 rebounds, 7.0 assists, 0.8 blocks, and 1.7 steals. So granted, LeBron isn't the scorer that Jordan is, even though he's only 3 points per game below. He averages nearly 2 more assists a game. And he's a small forward. Jordan's a shooting guard. So how is a small forward gonna get more, assists than a freaking guard? Like I don't understand that. Like, and you people are saying like, I don't know, like he does he score as much? No, but he gets the rest of his team involved, which I think is equally as important. Yeah, he's a much better rebounder. Like blocks they're the same, granted, but so he's a better rebounder. He's a better all-around player in terms of being well-rounded and stuff. I'm not going to deny Jordan's a better scorer, but all around in terms of what he does on the floor, LeBron's a constant triple-double threat. Like, I mean, like just the physical, like just what they are. Like, LeBron's 6'8" and weighs 250, listed as 250. He's probably something around like 260, 270. Jordan 6'6", 215. He's much smaller. He's 2 inches smaller, but he's much lighter. He just isn't the monster that LeBron is. Like, give the guy some credit. Like, you've never seen anybody like him. Like, people that big, they never were able to pass the ball that well. They were never that fast. He's probably the fastest guy in the league. Like, I don't know. I mean, that's part one. My second part is the impact on the team. Like, what defines a player? Basically, you can't look at stats because it's two different eras, right? You can't look at rings because you're disregarding the fact that there's fucking 11 other people on the team, right? All right. So about the impact on the team. When Jordan retired in '93, for baseball or whatever it was that he retired for, supposedly there's some rumors about gambling and stuff, but the Bulls, they went 55-27 with the exact same team from before Jordan retired. 55-27. That's one of the best. Like, that's an amazing record. Like, is it as good as they were with Jordan? No, but I mean 55-27, and they reached the Eastern Conference Finals where they lost to the Knicks in 7 games. And if you remember those things, that's because of that bullshit call. Remember that where it was a foul or whatever in Game 5. The Bulls should have won that, and then they would have made the finals. So I mean, like, without Jordan, 1 year they got to play without Jordan, where Scotty was, the man. They did amazing. Like, it wasn't a bad season by any stretch of the imagination. They didn't win, but now my question is, if you gave that team without Jordan 10 years to win a ring, you really think they wouldn't have won? They probably would have won 2 or 3 rings easily. That team is ridiculous. Like Pippen, he's a top 50 player all time. Rodman's probably the best rebounder of all time. That team is stacked. It's one of the best teams of all time. With or without Jordan, it's still an amazing team. Jordan put them, over the top, made them amazing. But like, come on, like, impact on a team. That team was stacked as hell. Like, let's not take anything away from them. You know what I mean? As for the Cavaliers, though, with LeBron, they were 61-21. Best team in the league. Like, granted they failed in the playoffs and stuff, but regular season they're the best team in the league. The next year, the Dan Gilbert, Cavaliers are gonna win it before the Heat. They went 19-63. They had essentially the same team. Like, they lost Big Z and Shaq. I mean, like, how key are they? They had the same team, like. So you took away LeBron, and basically they went from being the best team in the league to the worst team in the league. Like, how does that not mean anything? Like, it's huge. Like, LeBron's such a big part. Here's the thing. Here's my key point right now. Like, if you took a prime Jordan, like Jordan in his prime, and put him on that Bulls, and then put him on that Cavaliers team, do you think he'd have a bigger impact than LeBron? Like, would it have a better record? Like, I honestly don't think so. I don't think Jordan by himself wouldn't be able to do what LeBron does. Like, he's not physically gifted. He probably is a better closer. He's a better shooter. But like, he doesn't dominate games the way LeBron does. I mean, that's just my personal take on it. Like, I mean, I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this shit, but like, whatever. I mean, this is what I think. Like, and to close it off, like, triple doubles in terms of, like, it shows you basically how well rounded you are. Like, how many, if you get points, rebounds, and assists while you're on the floor, basically how much of a threat you are. LeBron in his career in the season is 29. LeBron right now, 29. Jordan in his entire career had 28. So obviously Jordan was focused on one thing, scoring. That's what Jordan did. Best scorer all time, yes, but best player, I don't know. If you look at the full body of work, I think you just gotta give it to LeBron. I mean, that's my take on it. Listen, if you liked the video, please subscribe. If you didn't like the video, subscribe anyway. Leave your hate, whatever. I know I'm gonna get a lot of you're an idiot and shit like that. It's fine. I appreciate it. But, you know, if you're going to leave a comment, at least make it insightful, like, so I can write back. You're just going to say you're a dumbass. I'm just going to look at it and laugh and whatever. But anyway, thank you for tuning in, and have a nice night, next day, whatever. Thank you.